Right. Good evening and welcome to Matters of the Heart. It's been a while we did this, and we are resuming in full force. And I trust that this will be a blessing to you. In case you're okay, maybe I should restart for the purpose of those who are on our Telegram audience. So please just be- bear with me a bit. Just bear with me a bit. Our YouTube audience, please just bear with me a bit. I would I'll be up and running with you in a moment. All right, so we take it again. Come to Matters of the Heart. If you're joining for the first time, Matters of the Heart is a relationship program, as it were, both for singles and the married. So it's not exclusively for the singles, it's not exclusively for the married. We that relationship wisdom will be profitable to both singles and the married. There are times we discuss things that affect singles alone. There are times we discuss things that affect the married alone. There are times we discuss things that affect the both. So it's important that whether you're single or married, that you are a part of the program. So this is me welcoming you again after a long break, and I believe this time we have come to keep it running. All right. Today we are discussing an important topic: buy guns and buy guns. Okay, so listening, it sounds somehow, right? But then if I am to spell it so you understand what we mean, this is it. Bygones, like BYGONES, bygones, things that are in the past, and bygones, buy BUY, guns, GUNS. So the second one is like to purchase something. And what is that? To purchase a gun. In fact, guns, not just one. So we are dealing with bygones, things that are in the past, and then bygones, things that is purchasing a gun. That's literally what the bygone is, but it is used in a figurative context. As we proceed, I believe you will understand the context in which it is meant. All right. So talking about bygones and bygones, the focus is in a relationship, especially for those who are yet to be married. What are those things that should be overlooked about the person's past, and those things that should not be overlooked? You meet some people and they or you hear on social media, you hear a lot. Meanwhile, before we proceed, please, our YouTube audience, do well to share, please share the link. We would like you to like and subscribe so that it will boost our algorithms. All right, so just click on the like button and then subscribe to, and then feel free to chat with us. All right, you can send in your questions. We'll do well to answer them in due course. So just feel free. The comment section is open. Communicate, express yourself, share your views. Even if there are reservations, share them. If there are questions too, share them. We will do well to address those questions, if not tonight, in subsequent editions. But just know that your comments are observed, they are noted. All right. Okay, so for those that are just joining us, I can see 7 people have joined. We are discussing bygones and bygones. The first bygone is something of the past. Then the second bygone is like to purchase guns, right? On social media, or even in day-to-day discourse with people, you hear people say something like, Rochelle Lopez, you're welcome. Please let us know where you're chatting from. You hear people say something like, let my past be in the past. I don't want someone who will be bothered about my past. Let my past be in the past. Something like, you hear things like that. People placing an expectation on their intended to forgo or overlook everything about their past. So the question is it everything about the person's past that should be overlooked? Is it everything about the past that should be overlooked? Some will say, forget my past because it is bygone. No, but is it everything about the past that is really bygone? That is the essence of this discourse. And my position is this: whereas the past should be over, really the past, ordinarily the basic rule is that the past should be overlooked because life is lived forward. Okay, and I personally believe that if you are in a relationship with somebody, what should count is from the time you meet the person going forward. That's what should count. I mean, you were not in the picture before the person met you, so the person did whatever he or she did without you in mind, without you in consideration. So there is no way you should be judging, or you should rightly be judging the person for what the person did when you were not in the picture at all. So what should matter in a relationship should be from the day you meet the person going forward, because like I said, life is lived forward. However, is it everything about a person's past that should be overlooked? My position is no. It is not everything about a person's past that should be overlooked, because some things about the past haunt. There are some past that never remain in the past. They are always like ghosts haunting someone. So it is important to sever those ones from the ones that should be let go. There are certain things about a person's past that should not be overlooked. There are certain things about a person's past that should be discussed, that should be addressed with a view to how it should be handled going forward, because those things will be recurring decimals, or those things will ever be before you, or there are things that cannot go away. Yes, there are things also about a person's past that should make the relationship be terminated. That is, it's not about how do we manage this thing going forward. No, for those things it should be a case of this is the end of the relationship. There are things like that. So it's important we draw classifications between these things. It is important we draw a demarcation between things that should be outrightly overlooked, because I mean they are gone and gone for good, or gone forever. There are also some things that, though they are in the past, they will always be with you, they will always be before you. So you may need to discuss how to manage those things going forward. For instance, someone has a child. You cannot say because okay, the person had a child in the past, or the person was put in the family way in the past, or the sexual adventure the person had that led to the birth of the child was in the past, then you should completely overlook. No, something like that should be discussed. It should not be overlooked. It should not be treated as a bygone. It should be addressed, because that child is a human being, and that child will forever be a part of the person's life. So if you want to marry someone, maybe a single mother for instance, if you want to marry a single mother, you should come to terms with the fact, you should ask yourself, can I handle this? Because you cannot love a mother and then not love the child. No, a child is inseparable from the mother. A child is an extension of the life of the mother. Yes, that's why at birth there is a placenta connecting them. The child is just an extension of the mother. So if you want to marry a single mother, you cannot say okay, let's overlook the fact that she has a child and live together as though she never has a child. No, she has a child, and that child will forever be there, and she will forever in one way or the other have roles to play in the life of that child. So you need to come to terms with the fact that that is what it is, and then ask yourself, can I handle this? Can I love another man's child like my own? Number two, you need to discuss with her, okay, how do we manage this? Will the child be living with us, or do you expect that the child will be living with us as a child of our union, or is there an arrangement where you can still be attending to your child and show motherly care, the child being a thing in our marriage? These are issues that need to be discussed. They cannot just be flung away or ignored in the name of let bygone be bygone. Else bygones can become bygones. Are you getting the point at all? And then as a lady, you are seeing a guy, or a guy is beginning to show interest in you, indicate interest in you. Should you, because okay, your escapade was in the past, just keep quiet when a child was an outcome of your escapades? Do you just say okay, it's in the past, let it be, and then you sweep it under the carpet, you hide from him the fact that you have a child. No, that cannot be bygone, because the child is not gone, the child is alive. So you need to mention to him that I have a child, and then know what his take on the issue is. Also know whether he has the capacity to play the role of a father to a child that is not his own. And then even if he doesn't have the capacity to play the role of a father to a child that is not his own, you as a lady, do you love him enough to still want to be with him even if he lacks that capacity? If it is a yes for you, that you love him so crazily that you still want to be with him despite he's lacking the capacity to father a child that is not his own, then the next thing should be, okay, I love this man enough and I love my child enough. How do I work out some form of a modus vivendi where I can still be loving both of them? Two of them will still be part of my life without two of them interfacing, without two of them having a conflict. So you now work that out, maybe by coming up with the idea, okay, maybe the child should be with my mom, or if I have a sister who is willing to take care of my child, of course one would expect that your sister will take care of your child as her own, or almost as her own, even if not exactly like her own. So if you have such a sibling, you can give the child to the sibling, okay, please be catering to the child whilst you supply the financial necessities of the child. That is, if those people expect that you should do that so that they can cater to the financials for the child, then you can be supplying it from your new home. So that way you can still be, and then you go visiting your child, and of course your husband knows that you have a child. So when you want to go visit your child, or maybe there is parents day, visiting day, your husband would not be surprised that you went missing in action. He knows that you had a child before he came, and he was okay with that. So your child can be with your mom or with your sister or with whoever, or even a couple who are trusting God for a child, or who do not have a child and are not able to have a child of their own. They could adopt your child whilst you still play the role of a biological mother to the child, and let them play the role of parents to the child too, without a conflict. That way you can still be there for your child and still be there for your husband. But if he's a kind that doesn't mind fathering a child like that is not biologically his as his own, then you can bring in the child and two of you groom the child as though he were your own. But then too, he should be ready to accommodate the fact that the father of the child may be a factor in the child's life. By God's design, the biological father of a child is supposed to be a part of the child's life. There's some father's blessing. Yes, it is scriptural, the father's blessing. So these things some single mothers do, if you're a single mother doing it, stop it. That thing you do to extend your bitterness against the father of your child to your child, such that you cut off the child from the father. You deprive the child access to his father, or deprive the father access to the child. So deprive the child fatherly care. Don't do that. Let your misunderstanding with your baby daddy, if that's the word for it, let your misunderstanding with the man be with the man. Don't bring it between the man and the child. Don't make your child miss out on the father's blessing because of your misunderstanding with the father of the child. Let him have access to the child, so that he will not miss out on that spiritual thing. I'm not even talking about the psychological one. There are roles psychologically only a father will play. Sometimes it is only a father's sit down there and keep quiet that would instill sense into a child. The Bible says foolishness abounds in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction, it will be corrected. Sometimes because of the emotional bond between mothers and their children, mothers don't have that capacity to instill that firmness. And especially when the child is growing, imagine a boy now growing into a teenage boy. He's becoming a man. You may not be able to handle him. Sometimes it is that father who is also a man like him and more of a man than him that can instill some restraint in him. So single mothers don't do that thing. Well, that's by the way. So I'm saying, if the man you're dealing with doesn't mind having your child you got outside marriage in the home, he should also, you both should discuss, he should also accommodate the fact that the father of that child will always be a factor in that child's life. So the father of that child may come visiting from time to time. The father of that child may need to have time out from time to time with the child, may need to go on, maybe when it is parents day in the school of the child. If the father of the child wants to go, then your man should know that he should step back for the biological father of the child to play his role. So these are issues that you cannot say, okay, they are bygones, you just sweep them under the carpet. You address them because they will always be with you. That's the second classification. Remember the first classification, I said things that are indeed bygone, they should just be left in the past. For instance, body count. What is your body count? Does that change anything? If the person tells you the body count, can you undo it? I mean, if the person is the way to handle this thing as a man, I know that, okay, let me talk to men, then let me talk to women. All right, so I'm going back to I classified these things into three. The first is things that are bygone and really bygone indeed. They should not be addressed, they should just be forgotten in the past where they belong. So I'm giving an instance now, body counts, for instance. I mean, what does that change? Okay, if he or she tells you the body count, what will you do about it? And a lot of times it is the men that make an issue out of this, because men are conquerors, men are competitive. They want to be the first person who conquered a sport. So a man is proud if he was the one who disvirgin the lady, but a lady, usually ladies are more proud if she was the one who finally bagged the man that has been with many other girls, and then he didn't marry them. He finally decides to marry her. When he saw her, she feels that she's superior to those other ladies, because she feels for him to have chosen to marry her, there's something about her that is not in those other ladies. Lori is not true. Sometimes it's just the fact that the man is done playing his games and he now feels he wants to relax. Sometimes it's just the fact that the man sees the need to start raising a family, and that does not stop him from still playing his games. He's still playing the games right under your nose, sometimes even to your face. So it doesn't mean you're better than those other ladies. Again, that's an issue for another day. So for the men, if concern the issue of body count, this is the way I suggest you should handle it. I think it doesn't matter, it should be left in the past. But then if you want to even think of whether you should make an issue out of it or not, you should ask yourself, without knowing anything about her body count, from the day I met her up to this moment, how has she been? Has she displayed virtue? Has she displayed fidelity, faithfulness, moral perpendicularity? If she has displayed all those things, then you need not even bother about her body count. Yes. You should only start being worried if she's been showing signs of infidelity, promiscuity whilst you are with her. And even at that, instead of being bothered about the body count, you should just disconnect. Because even if her body count was 0, if she started being promiscuous from you, it is still a bad sign. So whichever way you look at it, what I'm saying, body count really does not matter. It should be bygone, like completely bygone. Now the second set of things are things that, though bygone, they are still not gone. You have to live with them and face them. Those ones, you shouldn't sweep them under the carpet. You shouldn't just throw them away. Discuss them, address them, deal with them, talk about modalities as to how you will cope with them going forward, or how you will handle them going forward. And I gave an instance with the issue of a child had out of wedlock before a man and a woman meets. You know, a child already born before two intendeds meet. I've addressed that one. Now the third classification, which is the final, are the ones that should not be tolerated at all. That is to say, in this case, it's not even a matter of let's discuss how to handle it or the way forward. They are complete deal breakers. Once they are there, is a no. Just shun it. Once they are there, no, just let those ones let the person involved go. It's not something you can deal with. No, it's not something you can deal with. And even if you want to deal with it, then know that you're dealing with it at your own risk. That's the third classification. I would have loved to have some more time to think up a perfect example, but right now, one that is readily coming to my mind, is maybe someone that it may not really be, I don't know, I'm being careful so that I don't hurt people's feelings in the name of trying to say the truth. But again, truth should be said with wisdom, it should be said with love. Do you understand? Which instance now do I give? Okay, let's say I'll give a couple of instances. One instance is you had dated somebody in the past, right? And within that period of maybe people dated for 2 years or 1 year, within that 1 year period, that he or she cheated on you 3 times, 3 good times. First time you forgave, second time you forgave, third time you couldn't take it again, then you broke up. And after a while, you people are meeting again. And since you met this person, you are still noticing too many friends of the opposite sex, too many close friendships of the opposite sex. Even if you have not caught this person cheating, it's a red flag. Yes, it's not something you should allow to be a bygone. Otherwise, you may be buying a gun that they will use to kill you. You should run away. Just disconnect. It's not for you. Yeah. Another instance, maybe you dated somebody, or even if you are not the one who dated someone, but you know someone to be someone that has a very violent temper issue. In fact, you eventually heard that this person had, in anger, stabbed his or her lover to death in the past, the former lover to death in the past, and now somehow you and this person came together. You see that issue of anger, that history of anger that person has, and that record of having stabbed a lover to death, that is not something you should overlook. No, you shouldn't overlook it. It's not a bygone. And lately, since you started interacting, you've observed from time to time, repeatedly on different occasions, she has thrown fits in anger, fits of anger. Then that issue is not even something you should discuss. Run away. Because even the Bible says that it is better to dwell on a rooftop than to live in a house with an angry woman. But I beg to even say that even applies to the man. There is no angry person that is fit to live with. No, none. The Bible says that an angry person is like a city without walls. Yes, an angry person is like a city without walls. Do you know what that means? Insecurity. It's an insecure. There is no security around that person. That's to say the devil can invade that person or the person's home at any time. So that's why you should run. Another thing is something like, this one is a more practical case. There's this case I've handled. The person is HIV positive, and there's this person that likes the person. I'm trying not to say him or her so that in case the person is watching, the person will not feel bad. There's this person that likes that HIV positive person. This person has been HIV positive for a long time. This person told me over 10 years ago that there is a case of HIV, and I've been trusting God with the person. We are praying. But these kind of things, even a pastor who works in the miraculous will tell you that there are still 1 or 2 persons that is miraculous anointing. He's still trusting God for it to work on them. So there are always cases like that. So this is one of those cases where I'm still trusting God. I've even consulted some other men of God so that in case the question of maybe my power is not up to it, let's God use another person, yet it has not changed. So there's this person that likes this person so much and wanted to marry this person, and me and the person, there's a person with the HIV, discussed it, and The truth is that in such a situation, there are just two things involved. It is either you disclose it or just tell the person you are not interested in the marriage, just give whatever excuse and run away, because that is not something you can just sweep under the carpet. Yes, what you did that caused that HIV, let's assume that the HIV was contracted through sex, it was in the past, it is bygone, but the HIV is still there, and HIV is life threatening to some other persons. So such a thing cannot be swept under the carpet. It cannot be bygone. It has to either be addressed or you just stay away from that person, disconnect, tell the person you are not interested for whatever reason until God heals you. Don't use faith and say, okay, by faith I will enter the marriage, God will heal me, and my partner will not catch the HIV/AIDS. No, that's wickedness. In fact, it is a crime. Such things you must disclose. And then for the other person, someone discloses to you whilst you're dating that he or she is HIV positive. It is not a something of let bygone be bygone. No, you can't put it. It's not let bygone be bygone. It is either you discuss how you're going to work around the thing or just disconnect. Otherwise, you see that thing you consider a bygone, it will amount to you buying a gun that they will use to kill you tomorrow. Yes, to amount to you buying a gun they can use to kill you. So these are the issues. So discuss such things. Or a situation where someone has a family record of marital instability, marital crisis. Her grandfather and her grandmother, they divorced and violence was involved. Her father and her mother, they divorced and violence was involved. His siblings, there are 5 of them in their house, right? 4 of them are married, were married. They all divorced and he was violent. In such a situation, I don't think you want to go ahead. And you've heard of this person, that this person too has once been in a marriage that violently scattered too. So you are the next marriage. No, it's not bygone. You are about to buy a gun that they will use to kill you. So don't let it be bygone. In fact, instead of letting that thing be bygone, let that lady be gone. Let that man be gone. Otherwise, if you don't let that man be gone because you want bygones to be bygones, you will be buying a gun they will use to kill you. So there are things you should overlook. There are things you should, even if you are not making an issue out of them, you should address them as to the way forward with them. There are things you should carry your slippers on your hand. That's the long and short of this episode on bygones and bygones. I hope you get the point, and I appreciate you for listening, for being a part of the broadcast. Please drop your questions if you have any. We will take out time to address modern relationships. We look forward to a society filled with happy homes, successful relationships, and that's what the program is about. So I'll see you 8:30 p.m. next week, Saturday. All right, but please do well to like this video, do well to subscribe to our channel so that you receive notifications whenever we come, and then do well to comment even as you watch next time or every time we come online. And one more thing, please do us the favor, share the video to your friends, share the video to your loved ones. You don't know the relationship you may be saving by sharing. You don't know the family you may be saving by sharing, and actually the life you may be saving by sharing. So please do well to share the good news, and God bless you. Until I come your way next week, Saturday, 9:30 p.m. 8:30 rather p.m. Nigerian time, for another interesting episode of Singles and Married. God bless you. Peace out.